person is there or not.
Very good crowd, very interactive crowd. Thank you for participating so far. It is actually 2:35 already.
Let's get started.
Okay, let me just rearrange.
2:35.
All right. So Audrey, you want to take us away?
Yep. So welcome everyone. Like today, we're going to be talking about social media advertising, and of course, one of the things is about Facebook, Instagram advertising. I think, during this time, things have changed. A lot of things have really moved, but we do know that the vaccination schedule is all coming out. Things are going to get better. That is one thing for sure, right? We have already seen the rock bottom of it, right? And things are going to get better. The only question is, like, are we prepared for it? How can we prepare for it further? And what can we do right now to actually prepare for that? For the future, right? So, which is why Ivan actually from Evohos actually reached out to us and say that, hey, there is a gap here, there is a space here, there is so many hoteliers, there is so many people who are in charge of Airbnbs. You know, they know that things are getting better, with everything that's coming up right now. We already finally everything we start seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. But at the same time, he said there is a gap. And the gap is that a lot of people has always been using social media kind of like as a branding purpose, but sometimes being over these few years being so over reliant on OTAs, you never really need to market yourself per se. But what can you do right now to actually market yourself further, to push yourself out there, to get more sales, to get repeat customers, and so on and so forth. And I think we wanted to use this period to actually talk to you guys about this. And if you guys have any questions at all, feel free to actually put your questions in the chat, right? We're going to start off going through what we're going to do is we're going to start off going through some of the things that we see, some of the opportunities that we also see. And in the meantime, we are also going to leave quite a big chunk of time for Q&A, and that's the perfect time for you guys to ask a lot of questions or any questions related to advertising, right? Or in this digital marketing space per se. So, okay, without further ado, Stuart.
Alrighty, so thanks, Audrey. So before
I see no Fazlianiza raised her hand. Is there something that
all right, or is she saying hi?
Oh, is she saying hi? Are you saying hi?
If anything, do type in the chat, please. And if I mute you, don't worry lah, because we need to keep the noise down, right? So sorry for muting if we need to, but later we'll open up Q&A and we can chat there, right? So before we begin our formal introductions, Audrey has already taken us on what we're going to cover today, right? I would like to first ask you guys, because you all are a very interactive crowd, right? So I want to ask you guys, have you guys already been through digital marketing or Facebook, Instagram advertising courses since the lockdown? If yes, type Y in the chat. If no, type N in the chat. Just want to see who has actually gone through it before, tried it before. Nabiha is yes, Putri no, Windy no, Ivan yes. Let's see how many Y and how many N. So we have quite a good balance.
Quite a good balance.
I would say
more Ys.
3 to 1 now. I would say 3 to 4 times more Y than N, right?
Yeah.
So no matter what, it's like we have a good mix of an audience here, right? If you have been through it before, hopefully you will have discovered like what actually I want to get from this kind of courses, right? And hopefully from our preview, you guys might get to know us and get to know the syllabus. And after that, again, hopefully from that, you guys will get to choose us. And for those who haven't gone through these courses before, at least this preview is a good thing to come and see, like how you can use digital to actually improve your businesses and your companies, right? And your hotels. Okay, so Thank you for the participation. That is very good. I think we have 3 to 4 times more why. So for those, regardless of whether you join a course before, have you guys used social media advertising, actually used it after that? Did you guys use it for your company or for your hotels or for your business? Type Y in the chat for yes and for no.
So for people who have, okay, I want to see how many people say yes.
Nabi has yes.
Okay.
Not bad. So you guys already
Mm.
already have experience in using it. Very nice. Okay, so we have overwhelming whys, and that is a very important thing to know, right? Because now we can actually explore together, like, have my campaigns been working? What may I have been missing? Is it something for me, my company, right? So amazing replies, guys. Thank you so much for participating. Now we can actually move on to the next one. So,
so okay, guys, really quick one. So especially for some of you guys, right? Yeah, your height should have hide it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, actually, for some of you guys, I can see that you guys have actually done advertising and actually have experienced it before. I think, but one of the big questions really for you guys to think about, right? Do you think, honestly speaking, like you see this fire, what do you think social media advertising is? I mean, Facebook, Instagram advertising, there's a lot of many tools, many platforms that you can advertise on. One of it is only social media and Instagram, right? Because they're bought from the same company. But the question is this: do you think that social media advertising is the fire or the gasoline? What do you guys think? If you guys think it's a fire, just put fire. If you guys think it's a gasoline, put gasoline. Fire or gasoline?
Jishan says gasoline.
Gasoline. Some people say fire, some people say gasoline. It's okay. There's no right or wrong answer, right? There's no right or wrong answer. So you can see that this is fire. Okay. So some people say gas. Okay. More fire. More fire. We can see that. Right. Okay. Viral like a fire. Yeah, true. We want it to be viral like a fire. Okay. But actually, let me just, share. Okay. Stuart, just pop those things up. Actually, people always think that, by running ads, then you solve your problem. Wow, if my ads are good, wow, everything's solved, done. But the truth is this. It acts more like a gasoline. Imagine this: if you already have your fire, your spark is there already, then you add gas in, then it goes crazy, it amplifies, it becomes viral. But by the end of the day, your social media is actually not really your fire, it's not really your starter, right? Your social media is actually an amplifier. And the big question, right, that people always say, hey, then what is the fire? Actually, we're going to introduce this concept of hook. The hook is actually your fire. Your hook is good because no matter how good your social media strategy is, right, if your offer is not good, it no matter how much, if there's no fire, no matter how much gas you pour, it's not going to there. You won't miraculously have fire, right? But when you already have a fire, then you pour gas on it, then that's where it burns and that's where it becomes very big, right? And I think during this time is so much more crucial than before. The reason why I'm saying this is last time times are good. Times are good, you don't need to do much. Little bit of fire already, you just need to do a bit of social media, then the fire sparks and everything goes crazy. That's settled because times are good. But in times like this where there's a bit more uncertainty and stuff like that, you know, we do not have you do not have the benefit of just sit there, don't need to do too much, and then things automatically just comes up for you. No. But this time around, one more actually extra element that you guys would really, really need to pay attention to is what we call hook, right? And that hook is going to be your fire starter, right? And that once you get your fire started or start coming up, and that's where you start using social media ads, to pour, to become the gasoline to make this hot and make this viral. So today, Stuart, next slide, please. Today, we are going to talk about this. We are going to talk about a few things. One of it, obviously, we are going to talk about ads, but I really think that just like what you guys said, we already know that for this years, right, everyone would have gone through like for some social media stuff and things like that, or gone through for some ad courses. That's just one part of it to make a successful campaign. Actually, that is, as mentioned, that is an amplifier, but you still need to actually fix the first part of it, which is sometimes we call it the marketing fundamentals, or sometimes for me, we also call it, for us, we call it the hook. We also need to talk about the hook as well. So today you have Stuart and you have me. So both of us are going to be able to come in and give you very different perspectives on this subject, right? And we also did some research in hospitality and stuff like that as well, just for you guys, right? Because I think by the end of the day, even if you have there's no such thing as one marketing strategy can fit all industry. By the end of the day, every different industry are slightly different. And today we are going to be focusing on that. So Stuart, up to you now.
All right. So for today, we are actually going to cover 3 things for the preview. And these 3 things is some of you guys may already have employed it in your campaigns without thinking too much. But it is also something that we can look deeper, and we have also more comprehensive views on these topics in the course itself, right? So we are actually going to look at challenges. What challenges are you guys facing, especially your industry, hotel, tourism, right? Then we have the hook, which is how you can hook people, especially in this new norm, right? And finally, the one that a lot of people need in this day and age, the ads and the funnel. And this one, a lot of us would say like, oh, I already run Facebook ads, so I know all this funnel right? But actually, there are a lot of little tweaks you have to do. Like if someone in education does a funnel marketing campaign, it's going to be very different if someone from your industry, hotel, is going to run your social media ads, right? So that is just a broad outlook, right? And first, we have to look at the challenges, right? Now, this one we don't need to say anything, right? Because of the pandemic, a lot of things have changed. A lot of things that we never knew would have changed, right? Things like right now, if it was the olden days, right, I would be talking to you guys face to face, because we are a school. You guys would come and visit us. We will be talking face to face. But now everything has changed. Everything is from home. You guys are at home. We are at home, right? Second challenge, lockdowns. Can go out or cannot go out? Can travel or cannot travel? You know what? How? Can go 10 kilometer or can rentas negeri? What am I going to do, right? Second challenge. Third one, after all that, when will this end? Like, can we vaccinate 80% in time? Will vaccination allow traveling, right? And also what has come during this time is, this one has been appearing in news once in a while, right? People getting hostile at home, a lot of domestic violence, right? So those are the challenges that we currently are looking at just because of this pandemic.
Yeah.
But sorry.
One quick one is that, guys, like now what we see is, the challenge. We are seeing it from obviously a lens from this is a challenge, but the question for you guys, and we would love for you guys to think also, is how can you see this from a lens of opportunity, right? Because by the end of the day, in every challenge there will be an opportunity. Of course, that's why we actually list down all these challenges, because no matter whatever it looks like, if you guys think about it, there is an opportunity there. You guys just need to be able to see it. All right. But we're going to talk about that later. Okay.
All righty. So speaking of before we get into opportunity, we need to see actually how the hospitality and property, even tourism industry is impacted, right? I personally have had first-hand experience with hospitality industry before and after the pandemic. So while doing a job for a large hotel chain, they were like, all right, let's revamp all our 9 property, our 9 hotels. Let's revamp everything, the digital things. After we do this, we are going to blast out our marketing. You're going to help us with that. After that, we are going to, once the property finish renovation, we are going to do this and that, right? And we did it. We did it for a couple of months, the main project. And then the first lockdown hit. Then suddenly the tone changed. Suddenly it became about the government is giving the subsidy for local travel. Can we put that in? Suddenly no more talk about future plan, future promo, right? And then when the lockdown actually hit, there was no more job to do lah. All the things halted, right? So it goes without saying, hospitality is hit pretty hard by the pandemic, right? But like Audrey said, there's always opportunities. So before we go into that, we can see all the challenges that we may face in this time. It's like being too reliant on OTA, right? Last time when times are good, OTA can bring us our customers, and if we pay the commission lah, right? But now when times are tight, suddenly cannot really find it in us to pay the 15 or 30%, right? And at the same time, the branding, we have always left it to other people. Now we don't know how to do branding anymore, right? Secondly, maybe we have tried social media before, but don't know how to measure, don't know how to track, don't know how to target, right? Third is logistics. Like just now we say, 10 kilometer can travel or not? Rentas negeri means what? Suddenly can, suddenly cannot. Green zone, red zone, right? And finally, all these things like your operations costs. Right? That is part of the challenges as well. And it is also something that we can look to tackle, right? But on a more optimistic look, tourism will bounce back, right? People like the Airbnb general manager or forecasts from business markets are saying that there will come a time when tourism will improve, hospitality will bounce back, and which makes this a perfect time to start learning, right? So now that we know all there is to face, we come to the important bit.
All right. So I think this bit is what we call the hook, right? And you see that there is a rabbit there. Because by the end of the day, always remember, we need to find a fire. We need to find where's our fire, right? Because social media, yes, I mean, people always think that, wow, just with just so long I can run Facebook ads, IG ads, then done already, settled already. It's not like that, like actually, truth to be told, right? We still need to find the hook. So the hook is this, right? No matter how good your advertising strategy is, if your hook, your offer is not good enough, people still won't want it. And so we need to be able to discover where's the hook, right? And right now it's very important for us to innovate this hook, and what is considered an enticing hook, an enticing offer. And so here are like some ideas that we actually came up with during the course. And this is based on what, remember just now we have a few challenges, right? Let's just go back to a few slides before this. So if you can go back to the challenges slide. Yeah, so okay. So remember these few challenges. We have 4 challenges. We know that people are stuck at home. Consumer behavior change. We know that everyone is online lah. We are now, that's why we cannot even see each other face to face, right? That's number 1. Secondly, we need to know that the second challenge we have is the lockdown. The lockdown, we know that people cannot go here and there so easily, right? The third one is we do not know when is this uncertainty is going to end, but what we know is this: there is a vaccine schedule. A lot of people are taking vaccine these days, and the good part is that previously a lot of people was really hesitant about taking vaccine. Today, a lot of people are going crazy about signing up for vaccine and trying to do vaccine hunting. I know that my father's friend drove all the way to Klang just so that he can get he can get a jab, because over there got what they call it, leftover vaccine, right? And then number 4 is mental health, right? So when we are taking this, we also want to see what are some opportunities that we can go to. Okay, now let's go back to the hook. Okay, next slide, please. So the first one that I was really we were just discussing right that day, and we are trying to understand the hospitality industry. And here are like some ideas. The first one that we could think of is we all call it the 10 km madness mania. Right? Why is it 10 km? Why is it madness mania? Number one is 10 km because we cannot go beyond 10 km. Correct or not, guys? Can go beyond 10 km not? I mean, you guys got letter, then okay lah. The second thing, madness mania, is because the thing is this: a lot of people are going crazy staying at home. How many of you guys, really quick one, for you guys, right? Just put it in the chat. How many of you guys are so bored staying at home these days? How many of you guys feel like you're going crazy staying at home these days, seeing the same four walls, seeing the same people? Okay, sorry. But yeah, how many of you guys are feeling that now? So Chris say yes, Ivan say yes, anyone else? Vivian say yes. Okay. So the thing is this, by that really that there is actually one opportunity there, because I do know a few friends, like for example, a friend of mine, he's staying with his in-laws. And during pandemic right now, situation is not that good also, right? You know, business not very good. By the end day, they get and find they found a they actually, what is it called? They actually rented a house to stay out, right? They actually just decided to move out. So it really triggered something in me. Like, to me is, oh, why is that happening? Why is that happening, right? And I think one of the things is this: a lot of people, a lot of people are being, when they are being stuck at home, they are very stressed out. And the truth is, it- one of the reasons why, the number of cases went up is because people do not want to stay at home. And right now everyone is forced to stay at home lah, at some point lah, right? And so there is a lot of stress factor that's happening. And so number one, so we look at the problem statement, then we ask ourselves, is there an opportunity, right? So for who? People who within the 10 km who wants to get out. Next one. um, People who need a change in environment to de-stress, and people who need relaxing activities as well, right? So there's this opportunity over there. It's like there are people who just want to go out and actually just refresh themselves, have a change of space, right? They want to go to a place where they do not need to think about their laundry, do not need to think about cleaning that place up. They just want to stay there for a few days just to relax, change of environment. There are people who are in that position. Number two is that some people are actually looking for distress, right? Because stress activities, just FYI, was talking to someone who is a doctor. So there is this thing called IBS that's happening. It's internal bowel syndrome or something like that. I can't remember the whole name. Um, the thing is this: when IBS happen, your body just, a lot of things severe. You don't feel well, your stomach don't feel well, and everything like this. But this IBS, no one knows the cause. It's not really a health problem. They went for health check, they went for a lot of blood tests, everything is totally fine. And by the end of the day, they realized that it is actually psychological. I was just talking to a doctor that day, and she said that, do you know that with so many of my patients coming in, at least half of them are having IBS right now. And IBS is really not due to because they have any problems with their health, but it's because of the emotional stress that they are facing that is causing that. So then that's where I realized that what people really need is really actually going to a place, a change of environment. Number two is relaxing activities. And I think there is a space over here where, imagine this: I can just go to your place, right? Let's just say your hotel. I know that, we probably cannot go to the pool, cannot do anything. But hey, what happens if I go to the hotel? Inside there, I have, let's just say, bathrooms, right? I can do a lot of relaxing activities. I can have all these add-on collaborations that people can do to relax themselves, without really meeting each other, or without really, using a pool and stuff like that. There are a lot of things that are happening, that you guys can actually add into your package. It's not just purely about, hey, come to a place, but hey, you want to change your environment. It's a worry-free, stress-free environment. But not just that. If you guys would love to hear like some add-on deals for you guys, right? So, um, so there is this one approach, and there's what we call a group of customer avatar, that is made available for you to actually pay attention to. There is a good opportunity here, which I think that you guys, if you have not leveraged on it, if you're not tapped on it, it's time to look into that. Okay, next one.
Right. So again, what Audrey has highlighted is one of the many opportunities you can come up with, right? You guys are very experienced people in your industry. So during the course, you could also brainstorm your own opportunities from your challenges, right? And secondly, after Audrey's one, it's a bit hard to follow up with that idea already, right? But there's also this open border advanced celebration, which is people actually want to go out already. Okay, they uh, never even announced that MCO is done. They're like, no, I'm going to travel. I buy my ticket first. Next year, AirAsia is coming out with what you call that, uh, advanced purchase, right? Even companies are starting to offer pre-purchases for the future or purchase now at a lower price, right? Now, the thing is, how do you find these people? And how do you actually get them to be in your database, right? You know these people exist. A lot of authorities have already said it's going to bounce back. We cannot really predict the future, right? Nobody can always say, oh, sure, like that one. But once everything goes back, once everything settles down, right? How do we actually capture these people before that time comes? Right? If you wait for that time to come, they're already gone already, right? So one of the ways you can do this is to get them to think about the future, right? For those who are in the marketing team for your company, you guys would already probably know the term, what you call it, future stepping, right? Making them feel as though they are already there. Imagine waking up at this time once the MCO is over, right? Imagine waking up to the beach. You can actually do that right now because by the time MCO is over, it is a bit too late, right? And if you check your social media, I'm sure if you guys check your social media, you will see that few people who's like, I cannot tahan. Once this is over, I'm going to travel from Paris to Japan to Dubai, right? So those are the people that you are going to target, right? And also for those who don't really want to commit, those who are thinking like, ayo, can travel or not? Like if I buy now, what happens if I cannot travel, right? Those people also you can target, right? You can offer better prices. You can offer a flexible renegotiation, right? Changing the terms. So place companies like Ansel.com, even though they're not purely a hotel brand, but this concept is already existing and is actually pretty good to draw people in the current era, right? So what they're doing is they're offering very good slashed prices, unsold rooms, which you can use 24 months in the future. So that is a very long time, and that will be a way you can target this demographic, right? Can also target them with low commitment lead generation deals, and we will cover lead generation in the course, right? Things like lead magnets. After you find your hook, how are you going to create the infrastructure to get these people, to find these people and get them to come to you, right? But sorry, having looked at that, Audrey, you want to add anything?
Yeah, let's just go back to the slide before, right? Like I think one of those things is really, why do we talk about this, right? Why is it called redeemable offers for the future? And I think this is something that is very powerful, that sometimes you look at it, I need to give 70% off for the future. Like why do I need to do that, right? Why is there a need for us to do this, actually one of the key things here, that what you are trying to do here is this: you're trying to get as many people, potential customer, into your database as possible. That's the whole goal, right? Our goal during this time is really just to think like, hey, you know what? Honestly speaking, if I were to put this, redeem your 70% off today. Redeem doesn't mean that they buy, okay? They can just redeem. All they need to do is, let's just say, they need to give you your, let's just say, give name, phone number, and email. Let's just say they just need to do this, right? And then you add them into group. and then they get to redeem this coupon. And then maybe for the next, let's say 12 months, we can say they can so-called use it anytime, right? They can also invite their friends and so on and so forth. Just by doing that, people are just redeeming. Doesn't mean that they're buying, but they're redeeming. And a lot of people, by the end of the day, 100 people redeem, right? Maybe, but they ultimately, maybe only say 50% of the people will actually end up buying lah. But it doesn't matter. The point is this. The point is that you want to be able to enlarge your database as big as possible, because the moment if I get your number, if I get now we have 40 people lah, assuming we have 40, assuming I get 100 people, if 100 people's number, let's just say I have a WhatsApp chat or whatever, Telegram or whatnot, I can just, in the future, I can just blast to you guys, because I want to make sure that the number is a correct number lah. That's a very important thing, right? The moment you have your phone number, I can always just message you, hey, there's a deal coming up. Hey, here you're working together with this group of people, and so on and so forth. So what we're trying to do over here is to think of ideas. What are some of the ideas that we can enlarge our database as big as possible today, so that when everything is good already, we can just simply one blast. Even if you one blast one message out, one email out, hey, at least you have 20-30% people replying to you, right? And say, I'm interested. So this is definitely one of the things that you guys can do right now. That is what we call a low commitment thing, that people just go like, oh, seems good, but you guys can, it's very powerful for each and every one of you guys to make use of for the future. Okay, let's go. So really quick one, let's just see, what other people are doing right now, right? And my question for you guys is very simple. Do you like it or not, right? Do you think that this hook is so simple? So this is a good time for you guys to put it into the chat, okay? So now let's just go. So there are three things here. And what we did was that these are the three companies that are actually running ads right now. I don't know if anyone from Avani is here, or the last one is Sunway, right? It's good.
Yep.
I don't know if anyone from Sunway is here. But Unsold.com is not a Malaysian brand. But I got targeted recently. So these are three companies that are actively running ads currently today, right? So I'm going to ask, so just a round, right, for the people in the chat, right? What do you guys think of these three? Just put it into the chat. Or you guys can unmute yourself a little bit. Do you think that the hook is enticing or not? Yeah.
And do note that all these hooks wouldn't have existed if there wasn't COVID, right? These are all very specific hooks, right?
Yeah. So what do you guys think? Do you find it enticing? How would you guys do things differently, or would you do the same thing? What do you guys think? Anyone, just put in the chat.
From earlier site and Pool said yes to database. This must be quite experienced digital marketers already, yeah? If you care about database. What about the rest? Do you like, or even say what's your favorite, 1, 2, or 3?
So Jensen said I like Awani's offer. Okay, so yep, Awani is buy one free one, right?
Yes.
Anyone else? Middle one. Okay.
Everyone want value.
Everyone want value. Actually, what you see, they are all, every one of them, you can see from these three ads, they have a very different hook, right? The first hook is actually you get 24 months to travel. And this, when it was shown to me, and it was shown to me quite recently, I actually sent it to a lot of people, and we went and start checking things out because the deals were insane, right? I mean, I really do not know that. I also do again check out if it's a scam or not lah. But apparently it's legit. Just might have unexpected surprises here and there, right? That's that. So some people say they like the middle one. So the middle one is all about value, buy one free one, and so on and so forth. So, and the third one is very, very targeted at frontliners, right? I want to give you frontliners. I would love to be able to support frontliners and so on and so forth, right? Any other ideas out of these three? Any other ideas that you guys can think of? Really, just give it a try.
Don't be shy, yeah.
Don't be shy. Come on, guys.
Yeah. We'll be doing a lot of stuff like this during the program as well, right?
Yeah. You see, the whole idea, right, is that our goal is actually not to tell you what is the hook, because everyone could have a different hook. But what you need to see is, how are other people getting their hook? How are other people using the hook to actually entice people? And then ultimately, what can you learn from them, right? So I think it might no one's replying to it. So
Yeah.
yeah. So this, for me personally, the unsold one really caught my attention, because the second one is okay. For me it was like, yeah, it's more like a value deal lah, a bit hard sellish, yeah, if I want to travel, I will travel. The third one is thank you frontliners RM 150 net. Okay, if you ever take the third approach, the biggest problem is this. The biggest problem with the third approach is that I do not know 150 is expensive or is it cheap.
It's not bad for their
Yeah,
property.
it's not bad for their property, but I do not know because I've never went to it before. Right. So when you do so just FYI, when you guys do something like this, like the third one, right? If I am not a past customer, I do not know that 150 is actually a value deal. If I'm a past customer and I know that usually your room, one night room is 500 and now become 150, okay, that is cheap. But right now, when I look at it, for me, first glance, I'm like, I'm not too sure if this deal is for me or not, because 150 seems quite expensive right now, during this time, right? But the problem is because I have nothing to compare with. So that's why the whole idea, like during the course, what we do is actually, helping you guys really see some of the examples out there, and also really understanding, hey, what are other people doing? What are they doing right? What are they maybe not doing so right? Because by the end of the day, you also need to figure out things to make you stand out yourself. All right. So the last part actually is very simple. What is the ads and the funnel, right? And I'm going to really take you guys through this really quickly. So after you have your amazing hooks and funnels, right? We need to actually amplify it, right? Always remember, you always need to think of what is a hook and offer first, and then amplify it. After amplifying it, when you amplify, you let a lot of people see it. Once you let a lot of people see it, the next question you ask yourself is, what is the funnel? What's the process? What's the process for a person to go from one place to another place, right? So in just now this really quick presentation, we actually went through a few things. Like, so point number one we actually went through what we call a customer avatar. If you notice, when we talk about the 10km madness mania, right? It is not just an idea that just pops out of nowhere. No. So how do we actually create a customer avatar and eventually create a hook? It's very simple. We first came out with a who, right? When it comes to madness mania, we just now we said 10km. It's because we know that there is a problem out there. A problem is a lot of people are very stressed, and I am targeting people who are stressed, who are really unhappy, who cannot stand being in four walls, who need to change, who need to have a change of environment, right? A lot of people want to have a change of environment, even for a while also doesn't matter. So that's how we came up with the who. When you come up with the who, then it's very easy for you to think about what is the hook and what's the offer that is coming out of it, right? So the hook and the offer for the people who are very stressed at home is that, hey, what happens if I can come out? I mean, I obviously have a property. What happens if I can just say, hey, all you need to do is just to come to this place, check in, and everything is done for you, right? I mean, I don't know how much they're going to pay, but they come in, they stay, um, you know, they don't need to wash. Maybe let's just say I will help them wash the stuff, and over there, there are some relaxation kits, and I sure you girls really love this, like relaxation kits that we could just DIY. Go into the bathtub, throw some salt inside, put some flowers inside. Wow, it feels good, right? Everything, I don't need to worry, because I don't need to go and buy it myself. I don't need to do anything. Everything is all in. Something like this. So this is how we actually think about the who, and then eventually come up with the offer. And then the second part is we need to ask ourselves our ad campaigns. Ad campaigns, and I'm so sure so many of you guys have done it before, right? The first thing we talk about, what's your objectives? Second, what's your target audience? How do you target? Third, what are your copy and creatives? And the truth is this, if you go out to a lot of Facebook and advertising courses out there, everyone pretty much say the same thing, and that's the truth. because you can never go too far away from it. The only difference um, between what works and what don't work is really how well you understand the industry, and also, how much time do you spend in creating a customer avatar and creating a hook. Because ultimately, when you're running Facebook IG ads, everyone by the end they will run pretty much the same way, right? There are some strategies here and there that are different, but like, oh, what's the objective? There's only, I think, 9 or 10 objectives for you to choose from. Who is the target audience? Okay, so that one's a bit more complex. We're going to show that to you later. And what's the copy, what's the creative? There are also some templates that you can actually follow. But one of the crucial thing is actually the funnel. So what is a funnel, right? So the question you ask yourself is, how do they discover you? How are they reacting to your hook? Are they taking action? And how are you following up? So during this time, I mean, we all of us usually go through this stage: awareness, consideration, action, post action. And every one of you guys, you need to think about, hey, what's my plan when I start building something like this? How are they becoming aware? Why are they considering us? Is this hook better than this hook? Is this hook targeting the right people? Are they taking action or not? After they take action, am I following up? Am I using, am I generating the leads? How am I following up? After let's just say I do the 70%, you just need to redeem your offer now. You don't need to pay first, you don't need to book first, right? But you also need a plan. After people take action, you need a plan to think about, hey, how am I going to follow up with them and get them to come back to me again? You also need to ask yourself, hey, in the past, I have, maybe 2,000 people, customers who actually who actually come and stay at my place before and they love it, right? Is there something, what is my post-action activity I have for them? Can I actually utilize them again? Can I change them into my biggest ambassador? So these are the questions that you guys are going to explore, and we're going to give you like some case studies or ideas on how some hospitality industry do it, but also how some other industries actually do it. Then you can get some inspiration from it. Okay, so what will happen during the course? After, I will just quickly show you a few things. Is this for Facebook, Instagram ads? We'll be focusing on, like, number one is campaign strategy. We are going to be focusing on traffic ads and lead gen ads through forms and messenger. Some people ask like, hey, we come to Facebook, Instagram ads, there are so many other different objectives. Why are we only focusing on this? I think after discussing with a few people, we realized that sometimes the problem is when we stuff you guys with too many things. Yes, you guys, it's exciting, but you know it's very hard to remember everything, and that is very hard to implement because you have just too much information. So our approach is, how can you at least do really well with this tree and familiarize yourself with this tree? When you familiarize yourself with this tree, the remaining stuff in the future is very easy for you to pick up instead of being overwhelmed. So we're going to focus on this tree that you guys can use and can immediately actually start implementing yourself, right? Who are the target audience? How do you target? So we're going to talk about, for example, you want to do the 10 km mania, right? Like madness mania. Is there a way for us to target these people? That's a question you ask, right? Do we target them based on location? Do we target them based on interest? What are the ways to target? So there are many ways to target these people. Okay, quick tips on copy and creatives. So copywriting is just part of it, right? We will give you a template on how you guys can really write quick copies. But most important is really writing copies that are for the customer avatar. That is very, very important, because if you write copies just for sake of writing copies, it's going to be pointless. But notice that all the ideas and all the hooks that we have seem to be very fixated to certain demographic of people. When you write it and when it resonates with them, they would want to be with you even more. And we're talking about creatives. We'll also show you some very interesting creative ideas that you guys can definitely employ for your business as well. So one of the things is that we actually have a lot more hooks, but because the time is short, so which is why we never share all the ideas. But one of the few things is that we're going to share with you how to actually implement these hooks, right? How do you implement a lead gen hook? How do you implement and follow up on, let's say, an advanced deal sort of thing, right? I do know that after talking to Evohos, I do know that not everyone have a website. Some people have websites, some people do not have websites. So that's fair enough. But nonetheless, how can you build a funnel around it? If you have a website, you don't have a website, how can you build a funnel around it, right? Um, and yes, we'll definitely share a lot more hook ideas that we have based on some of the research that we have. But most importantly is that we want to walk you guys through the whole process of thinking about your own hook and your own offer as well. I think that is the most important thing. Okay, so let me just go through um this. Give me a moment.
So you can
Yeah, there's
share.
too many things open. Okay, so you guys can see this. I think some of you guys actually have been through this, but I think for us, really, I think some of you guys are familiar. Most of you guys are familiar with this. Some of you guys are not. But really, let me just go through it for the people who are not familiar, right? But basically, asking yourself, right, what are some of the things that you actually want to build? Give me a moment. Okay. So like, first thing first, what are some of the different objectives we have over here, and how are they different, right? Are we doing traffic? Are we trying to bring in waves of traffic in, or is it lead gen, or is it messages, right? But of course, the big question we also need to ask ourselves is, hey, if let's just say we're doing lead gen ads, you know, really quickly, how are these going to impact us? Is A/B testing good? What happens if I do CBO? What are some of the strategies that are available out there, right? And then, of course, over here, target audience. How are you targeting people? Um, and there are very interesting things over here if you actually take a look at it. Sorry. Right. You actually take a look at it. So you can see that there are many different things over here. For example, demographic, interest, behavior. How are they different from one another, right? Why do we target behaviors? How is interest, different from behaviors, for example? They might look the same, but they actually function very differently. Placements. Should we do automatic placements? Should it be across everything, or should we do manual placements? Should I only advertise on Facebook, or should I advertise on Facebook, Instagram only, or should I advertise on everywhere, right? So questions like this, which one is, not to say which is better, but different strategy you would actually use different things, and we're going to share those things with you as well.
And do note,
nah?
sorry, and do note that for those who are not familiar with this, you will definitely get familiar with this. And for those who already are, then during the course, you can even learn even deeper.
Yeah,
right?
You can even learn deeper, and the good thing is that you can definitely ask better questions as well, right?
Yeah.
So this is just an example, by the way, guys. Okay, so like for example, now you have this lead gen ad. The next question you ask yourself, hey, what kind of questions do I ask them? Do I go for more volume or higher intent? What questions do I have to actually make sure that people, those, there are a lot of scammers or trollers out there, they just simply whack some weird questions and weird stuff. Like, what are some of the ways for you to qualify your leads even better? Because the last thing you want is that you get 100 leads, and 50 of them is actually some weird people decided to simply fill stuff, right? And that can happen. So, we ask the question, what are some of the ways for us to prevent that? Okay. So, and then let me just do this. And then what are some of the copies, as well as and like media that you guys can take advantage of, right? And we are definitely going to be showing different ideas for you guys that you can actually implement for your business. So in essence, this one is my slide. It's okay, I can share.
Right.
So in essence, what is going to be happening during this course is really aside from really just learning Facebook, Instagram ads, we really want to work with you guys on how you guys can actually implement this for the hospitality industry. It's going to be a very hands-on session, and whoever who's going to come through with us on this, you would actually need to really. The hands-on is not just about clicking buttons on Facebook, Instagram ads and launching ads, but really thinking about the customer avatar, really thinking about the hooks, right? And really building the funnel. How do you make sure that after I get these people, what's the next step? What's the next step? What are the other hooks that we have along the ways? You know, a funnel, you can have multi hooks. It doesn't mean that you only have one hook. So yeah, so those are some of the things that we're going to be doing during the class. How's the training conducted? Is going to be online via Zoom, right? And what we do suggest is to have two screens if it's possible, because one of the reasons why is you might want to implement it alongside with us, right? And while you're implementing it alongside with us, having two screens is better, so you don't need to toggle around your different things within your computer. What we do also going to throw in is that we're going to definitely have some additional materials for you guys for e-learning as well, and we're going to record these sessions. The implementation sessions as well, the Zoom sessions as well for you guys as well. So this course itself is actually for you guys to have Pekeso, EIS, Penjana, everything. This course itself is going to be claimable under those things. We are going to be giving you this a link in a bit. But yeah, if there's any other questions at all relating to the course, you can reach out to Evohos, or you can reach out to us. We're just going to, and not just that, we're just going to be adding everyone into a WhatsApp group later as well, so that you guys have any questions related to the course, or even really general questions when it comes to digital marketing and things like this, you can reach out to us and ask us those questions. Okay.
Alrighty.
So okay, so without further ado, right, we actually thought about how this session would be like, because we are just thinking like, hey, you guys would know what is the issues or the problems that you guys face the most. So what we want to use and spend the time right now is to open it to the floor for you guys to ask us any questions related to digital marketing or related to the course, whatever it is. Yeah, okay, do ask us.
Yes. So thank you guys for being such a good crowd. We have reached the end of the preview, but that means we are just starting on with our Q&A. So thank you for participating and for having fun. Now, if you guys want to know more, do use this time to, use this Q&A time to interact with us. If you had anything that we didn't really cover yet, right? Just ask away. Don't be shy.
Okay. Any questions at all, guys?
No? Still shy?
Come on, people. I think this is a good time to ask, right? Even if it's related to your own campaigns. How do you know if the campaign work? Why my campaign don't work? I mean, some of you guys actually have run campaigns before. Are there any questions that you would like to know?
Jishan asks, wait, Nabiha asks, may I know when the course starts?
It's going to be on the 1st and 2nd of July, right? 1st and 2nd of July. So during this time, what we'll also do before the 1st and 2nd of July is that we'll reach out to you guys to also get more questions on what is it that you guys are facing in the industry and stuff like that, so that we can tailor the course to be more focused on hospitality. I mean, we are also looking for a lot of case studies and ideas related to hospitality, or anything that can be that or other industries that can be used for you guys as well. We are also looking for those ideas as well.
Okay, Jishan and Chris asked a somewhat similar question, and then Jishan has a second question, but we will get to that in a bit. They ask, need to prepare our own ad budget?
Ideally, yes. If you want to be able to run the ads together, we don't need too much, because you can use this period of time to experiment out different ideas. So then you can prepare your own ad budget and then go and start running some ads.
Right. And Jishan, second question. I like Jishan. Jishan and Chris are very active, represent.
Mm.
Jishan asks, how much roughly would you recommend to allocate?
Okay, so there are a few ways to actually think about allocation of budget, right? So some people, there are two ways, right? Some people actually say, let's just put a test budget of, let's just say, 1,000 ringgit, okay, or 2,000 ringgit. Then they start setting that money aside first, right? Then, but eventually, eventually you ask yourself, eventually when you start getting some data points, you ask yourself this question: is the campaign working or not? If the campaign is working, can I add more money inside? So for example, right, a few metrics that after the test period, there will be a few metrics that you want to look at. So assuming if I am generating leads. So remember just now we talked about the database. I want to create as big a database as possible, okay? Like a database. So from there you can see how many leads you're getting. But the most important thing, you're asking yourself, what's my cost per lead? So how much money do I need to spend to get one lead? Let's just say I need to spend, let's just say 50 cents to get one lead, for example. Then you ask yourself, look, okay, so now I already spent 1,000 bucks, and then I realized that I will get 50 cents to spend, to get one lead. So my goal is to get as many leads as possible. So am I able to make sure that I retain my cost per lead at 50 cents, right? So, and then I just pour in more money to get as many leads as possible. So that's also another way of looking at things. Sometimes what we actually do also, we look at another metric. If you can actually calculate capturing of sale, right? Especially if you have your own website. If you have your own website and you can check if you can capture the sales data or not, and then if you can push those data into Facebook, then it'll be really, really good. But in that case, I noticed, hey, let's just say my cost per sale is, let's just say, I spend 10 bucks to get one sale, right? But every time I spend 10 bucks to get one sale, the person will buy 200 ringgit worth of stuff for me. So I spend 10 bucks, person will buy 200 ringgit. Am I earning money? Yes, I'm earning money. Okay, then that's fine. I pour in more money. So it's always a two-prong approach. We start off with setting a fixed budget for testing, and then eventually we look into metrics, the core metrics, to actually determine if you're going to spend more or spend less.
Okay.
So any questions? Okay, what's
I
next?
just started learning Chinese, so I cannot read, but should be from Wang. Can you give advice on ad image? What kind of element is necessary?
Okay, so I think when it comes to ad image, it comes in a few ways, right? There's ad image, there's GIFs, and there is also videos, right? So they all say that videos, which is I do agree, videos is one of the most impactful medium. Okay, for a few reasons, right? If you actually watch video, because number one is that video can showcase many different things, but also videos, it engages people's different centers. It doesn't just engage me visually, but it engages the sound as well. So sound, visual, and also you just see a human talking, right? And then it's very easy for people to just watch a video and just see, oh, this is what is the value that is coming up, right? So that's definitely one of the few things. When it comes to images, uh, instead of just putting one image and then just putting stuff, maybe you need to really think about, is there a way for me to have that one image that can convey multiple values that is going to be suited for the person. And also sometimes people also use the GIFs. The reason why people use GIFs is because our eyes, if you guys notice when you guys are doing Facebook, right, a lot of people put out image, right? So image are all stagnant, it doesn't move. But then when you start seeing something that moves a little bit, your eyes will naturally go towards that that picture, right? So using GIFs to actually create that sort of effect would be very good as well. A bit of a moving element. So videos, is it just videos. I mean, sometimes it's a bit tough to make lah, but nonetheless, videos cover a lot. right? GIFs sometimes, some little moving elements, but inside the image itself that you have, even for your GIFs, is all about conveying value. Can I just look at your picture and immediately feel the value that I want? If I am someone who love to go to a place, like last time I remember the Chowkit Hotel and the Chloe Hotel, they put a lot of pictures that is very Instagram worthy pictures. We have Instagram worthy picture, and I love to take picture, and I'm like, whoa, that is the spot that I want to be at, right? Immediately it resonates with me. So always know who are your audience, and your images should actually have the elements that is resonating with them directly.
Right, lots of wisdom bombs from Audrey. Don't play. Ask one question, get full comprehensive answer. Don't need to go costly.
Sorry.
Okay. Jackson has just shared the link if you guys want to check out more information. Right, the link is in the chat. Thank you so much for the questions. We will still wait if any of you guys still want to continue asking, because we will be very happy to interact with you guys. Right.
Okay, so so Chris actually asked, if you want to boost our posts in social media, we need to pay, right? Yeah. So it really depends which social media you're using as well. Different social media works very differently. For example, let's just say your social media have about 100,000 people following. Okay, let's just say you have 100,000 people following on Facebook, 100,000 people following on Instagram. Let's just use these two as an example. So if you were to put a post, let's just say you put a post and you onto Instagram, a high there is a very very big chance that a lot of your followers, at least like easily up to 50% of your followers, if you consistently post and stuff like that, will be able to see your post as well, right? As the number of people grows, the percentage will drop, but nonetheless, a lot of people will still see your post on Instagram. You can boost it, and then more people see it, right? But even without boosting, Instagram, for example, will be able to reach out to quite a number of people already. But for Facebook, Facebook is like, no, it's a different story altogether. Facebook, you have 100K people. If you have an organic post, I tell you only 1,000 people see, right? You need to pay money regardless. For Facebook, if you have a post, you need to pay money to actually push it up. But with Facebook, if you really want your organic post to go very, very viral, then your hook and your offer need to be very, very good. So for example, a lot of people do giveaways, right? All the giveaway stuff, and then they go like, oh, you need to get and share, tag 3 people and then share this post, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, if the giveaways is really, really enticing and people, share and people comment and stuff like that, then only your post will start moving. But if not, you really need to spend money to boost it. Okay.
Okay, so just a reminder, guys, this course again, we have HRDF, we have EIS, we have Penjana. So if you are a new recruit, a new hire, if you just got retrenched, or if you qualify under HRDF, all this can be claimed under those channels, right? Because a lot of you probably have your own companies or in the company, right? So it seems that the questions have trickled down to us.
Yeah. The questions became really. Is there any other questions, guys? Let's just take 1 or 2 more questions, and then yeah, 1 or 2 more questions.
Or if they're still shy, how?
We ask them questions. Okay, maybe the question for you guys is actually for some of you guys who actually have run ads before. I mean, people who have never run ads before, it's a good time to start trying. But people who have run ads, right? What are some of the challenges that you guys are facing? What are some of the challenges that you guys are facing when you are running ads? Anyone?
Typing might take a while. So just see. I'm sure someone will have a challenge.
Yeah. Then we can talk about those challenges. What
But
are some of the things that you face? You guys can unmute yourself if you want to, right? And just ask us directly. It'll be a lot easier. Anyone? What are some of the challenges that you guys face when you guys are running your Facebook, Instagram advertising?
yes, very nice.
Okay.
Got some replies. Ivan says result is poor. Keep trying different audience.
So Nabiha say people commenting on the ads like saying no point on staying since they can't travel. Yeah, like to the point they give up on traveling. I understand, right? Because like right now I cannot see the point of getting I cannot see the point of seeing this and then doing anything right now, right? But at the same time, that's why, which is why we did bounce ideas off each other, like what are some of the ways to actually reduce financial commitment from people but still be able to get them as a lead. So that is definitely one of the ideas that you guys have, like as mentioned. I love calling it the Shopee strategy, right, Nabiha? You see, 7/7 is coming up soon. 7/7 is coming up soon. How do you think the Shopee team make sure that 7/7 is a success? That's a very big question. Because I cannot wait until 7/7 to happen, then only I say it's successful or not successful. I need to set in place strategies and ideas and ways to make sure that whatever I'm doing right now will bring success to 7/7, right? So I think that's also the same way, right? Because 7/7, basically you will start seeing Shopee, promoting 7/7 soon, right? I don't know, is it promoting now, but they're going to definitely promote one every single month they promote. And then on 7/7 is the D-Day to see the results, right? Because only people can buy on 7/7, right? The sales will happen on 7/7. Um, so yeah, with that in mind, right? That's the same question that we all need to ask ourselves, even for this industry right now, is that people cannot see the opportunity today, right? Um, because it's true, they cannot travel right now. But hey, what happens if I can redeem an offer, or I can get something very very interesting today, um, with the promise that in the future I can actually use it, right? Would that actually help increase your chance for conversion? Some people may not buy today, and that's very very true, right? Even for the unsold.com, I haven't buy it. I've been thinking about it like 1 week already. I look at it, wow, very nice, very nice. But I also very scared. What if 24 months later, things don't work out? What if this thing happened, that thing happened, right? There will be some people who will get advanced deals, right? Because the deals are very cheap and they are very optimistic. There will be the optimistic group of people, but there will also be the pessimistic group of people, which is, like what you say, lah, no point staying lah, since cannot travel. So if they cannot see themselves, if they cannot see themselves doing any financial commitment right now, then you change another way, right? Because eventually things will become better. But we just need to figure out what's the way to actually be able to capture them right now. Yeah, there's
Jaya
always
says,
suicide people.
Jaya says looking for future actually works.
If in a way of looking for future, the travel ads is actually, yeah. So I mean, it's the future lah. Then there's a time where people start saying, wow, the vaccine, one of the ideas that we actually came up with, but I never really put it into the deck, was actually get on, if possible, get on board on the the vaccine the vaccination program, right? Meaning that just like my burger lab, if you vaccinate, I give you X amount, right? If you vaccinate, I give you X amount discount off the burgers, right? And that is actually, it does two things, right? Number one, it actually makes people want to quickly go and vaccinate themselves. Very important, right? Because the more people vaccinate, the faster everything will open up, right? So having deals like this actually, number one, helps vaccination. Number two, because the moment after you vaccinate, the infection rate will definitely drop. So infection rate will definitely drop. So there will be less fear of COVID positive cases. So you don't need to worry about sanitizing the place. And like, I do know that last time COVID positive, then you need to sanitize the place like crazy, and it's not cheap, right? So with that in mind, you actually reduce the likelihood of COVID positive cases also. So so and right now, I think being able to say, oh, I'm supporting the vaccine program in a way, that is actually it's a current news that you guys can write on. It doesn't matter, if you, I mean, not to say you put it for show or something like this, but at the same time, people will look at it and say, hey, if you get vaccination, you see all the deals that are available to people who have gotten vaccination. Hey, very good deals, yeah. So you go on board that route, opportunities lah for you. Yeah, vaccine deals. Okay, anyone else?
Thanks, Ivan. You make sure you implement vaccine deal.
Okay, vaccine deals. Yeah. Okay, Nabiha, I hope that answers your question. I hope that helps. Does it give you some ideas on what you can do as well? Quiet. Yes. Okay. I'm glad that it helps you think about more ideas. So yeah, so I think that's why by the end they you guys know your industry in and out, but sometimes you may not. Sometimes what we do is sometimes we will fall into the trap of, okay, how can I just head on run a value deal. I mean, fair enough, like value deal is one thing. Everyone love value, right? But personally, I think in the future, a value deal would not be enough, right? Because people during this period of time, people are deprived of a few things lah. Economy not very good, so deprived of not a lot of money. That's one thing. But also people are deprived of experience. People want to experience things. People want experiential things. So I think when the borders start opening up, I think people are going to be looking forward to to gathering more experience. So don't just see your property as a room. Don't just see your property as a bed and people can come in. Not see your property as an experience. What experience I can get when I get into your property. So I think there, like when I'm looking at a lot of all the hospitality, and it's always people are selling rooms. People are selling, a room like with four walls, but sometimes people are not really selling experience. And I think that is something to really look into, right? Experience. What experience are you giving people? What can they come in and feel, right? What kind of experience are they? So, Nabiha said we did something like Shopee too, but that's before MCO, and it was a good crowd. Yeah, it is a really, and if Shopee is a place, I think Shopee, because a lot of people are on Shopee right now, is actually an opportunity. The truth is this: if you can go on Shopee, get people to find out about you on Shopee, and then regardless what, you can never forever just stay in Shopee. You need to be able to get the crowd into your social media, into your website or whatnot. So we have a friend. Last time I have a friend. I have a friend who has a healthcare marketplace before he sold it off. All the items that he has in his shop, right, in his own e-commerce shop, he also have it in Shopee and Lazada. And a lot of people also sell the same items, right? But what he does is that when he actually try to figure out a way, how can I get people who visit his store on Shopee to come to his website, right? And he did it so successfully that his own website, right, one day can get 50k people coming in, 50k people coming into his website, right? But what he did was he direct the Shopee crowd into his website. Okay, Jia said, thank you so much for spending all the time to share ideas and strategy. Thank you. Chris say people also scared of roadblocks. If they want to stay at the resort hotel, first question they ask is got roadblock or not. Oh yeah.
Not even hotel, shopping mall. Sometimes I
Yeah.
see it's like go to Publica, got blocked or not.
Yeah. But actually the 10 kilometer, if so long it falls within a 10 kilometer, then it's fine, right?
Don't know, sometimes.
Yeah. The only question is that I will ask for you guys is this: if within 10 kilometers, if within 10 kilometers there is a hotel and I want to stay in the hotel, what kind of documentation do I need to bring? Right? Some people say don't need. Some people actually say there's one actually say that you need to have a travel, the travel permit. I'm not too sure how does that work for you guys over there. So maybe Airbnb will be a lot easier, but maybe hotels might need. Depends on the hotel. Some hotels ask for permit. Some hotels don't need to ask for permit. Yeah, but I think the 10 km, if possible, 10 km is, if it's a 10 km radius, means that you have a 20 km diameter to play around with. So I think it is something to play. It's a playground lah. Play around with that and see the opportunities. 20 km diameter is very big, very big. I don't know how much space it covers up, but it covers quite a big place, right? Okay. Yeah. So without further ado, I think we're going to leave past the session right now to Evohos. But nonetheless, we're already given you the link, right? And I do highly suggest you join the WhatsApp group. Okay. Hello. Okay, so I do highly suggest you join the WhatsApp group. We're just going to share the deck in the WhatsApp group, make life a lot easier, right? So join the WhatsApp group. We're going to share the deck in the WhatsApp group, and then and during the next few days, we will have, whenever we have some ideas, we're going to pop in those ideas, and you guys can ask us questions as well. All right. So yeah, okay, back to